Y News with Angelo Castro III and Darlene Basingan.
Good evening. Former Bureau of Customs Commissioner Nicanor Faildon files an ethics complaint against Senator Antonio Trillanes IV. Meanwhile, the Senate Ethics Committee has ruled to not deliberate on the ethics complaints against Senators Lacson and Trillanes. Nel Maribuhok will tell us why.
Senator Trillanes, patunayan mo sa Ethics Committee ang iyong malisyosong paratang na ako ay at the heart of the controversy ng 6.4 billion shabu smuggling noong May 16, 2017.
Baseless and malicious. This is how the camp of former Bureau of Customs Commissioner Nicanor Faildon describes the allegations of Senator Antonio Trillanes IV. In the 14-page ethics complaint filed by Faildon today, he urges the committee to have Trillanes explain on his allegations that Faildon is involved in the 6.4 billion peso shabu shipment from China and received tara. According to Faildon, these are all lies.
The question is more appropriate if you ask Senator Trillanes and Senator Lacson their motivation to destroy me by using lies.
For his part, Trillanes says he is ready to face the complaint but appeals to focus on the real issue.
Hindi rin ako papayag na gamitin ito para malihis yung focus dun sa tunay na issue na ang nasa likod nitong 6.4 billion pesos shabu shipment ay si Paulo Duterte.
Meanwhile, the Senate Committee on Ethics has started to hear the complaints of Faildon against Lacson. The committee ruled that to put off the deliberations of the complaints against the two senators until the former BOC chief attend the Blue Ribbon Committee hearing.
Is to hold the complaints in abeyance hanggat hindi namin kailangan i-consider kung may form and substance ito until Captain Faildon or former Commissioner Faildon shows respect to the Senate.
At hanggang hindi siya humarap sa komite ng Blue Ribbon at sagutin ang mga tanong, hindi siya pwedeng pakawalan. At pakawalan lamang siya kung tapos na ang termino ng 17th Congress.
Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, Senate of the Philippines.
Customs broker Mark Taguba reveals in the Senate hearing today that not only one, but 3 types of tara or grease money are being given to officials and personnel of the Bureau of Customs for the fast release of cargoes. The alleged collectors defend their side on the issue. Nel Maribuhok is back to tell us why.
Customs fixer Mark Taguba detailed the text messages and calls of alleged collectors per division of the Bureau of Customs. Taguba claimed he withdrawn more than 25 million pesos in cash in just 2 weeks to fund expenses for the release of 207 containers. The expenses include the tara given to each division in the BOC that totaled to almost 500,000 pesos. Taguba named the tara collectors as Joel Panawin, Certain Jojo, Jake, May, Gemma Castillo, and others.
9:40 AM, sabi po niya, happy morning po, remind lang ni Sir Joel. Yung Joel po dito si Joel Pinawin at yung kay Director at sa kanya for your information yan.
Other individuals who were also named as collectors defended themselves during the hearing.
Wala po akong inuutos na maningil si May Escueto para po kay Colonel Estrella at para sa akin, Your Honor.
Blue Ribbon Committee Chairman Richard Gordon declared one of them out of order.
As per advice of my lawyer, may we know if there is an existence of the quorum in accordance with your rules.
Kami lang pwede mag-question nun, Gemma. Hindi ka kasali rito. You are out of order. You are out of order and you are...
Senator Panfilo Lacson meanwhile presented the questionable customs duties and taxes of shipment. According to the senator, 3 types of tara have been given to BOC for the fast release of cargoes, 1 for the green lane, 1 for the special stop order, and for its lifting order from the office of the commissioner. These are aside from the regular alert order of BOC in case of questionable shipments.
Base na rin sa SMS records na merong 50 mil para sa Office of the Commissioner para ma-lift yung
special staff order.
The senator also questioned the power of Michael Saban, a technical consultant who submits requests of SSO in Commissioner's office. The senator has not determined yet the total grease money or tara received by the office of the Commissioner, but Faldon refutes the said statement of Lacson.
I never denied that there is tara. I believe there is. But saying that I'm part of it, that's really bullshit. See, that's really a lie.
Bullshit din siya. No? Siya nga yung nasa center ng tara.
Senator Lacson plans to file graft and smuggling complaints against Faldon and other BOC personnel on Thursday at the office of the Ombudsman. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, Senate of the Philippines.
The principal complainant in the Sereno impeachment has named 2 Supreme Court justices who will testify against the Chief Justice. They are Associate Justices Teresita Leonardo de Castro and Francis Hardalesa. Roderick Mendoza will tell us why.
6 justices of the Supreme Court are likely to testify in the impeachment of Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. In an interview with Get It Straight with Daniel Razon, principal complainant Attorney Larry Gadon says persons whom the Congress might summon were listed in his complaint. 2 of them have previous disagreements with Sereno. They are Justices Teresita Leonardo de Castro and Francis Hardalesa. De Castro has questioned the order issued by Sereno for the creation of Regional Court Administration Office in Visayas because it was not approved by the Supreme Court unbanked. This is one of the accusations in the impeachment complaint against Sereno.
Isa sa lumilitaw na pwedeng magsalita
pwede,
ay si Justice Teresita de Castro. Sino pa ho? 6 kasi yan.
Meron din akong minention dito na yung si Justice Hardalesa na yung ginawa sa kanya ni Justice Sereno.
Na ano yun?
Pwede rin. Kasi applicant kasi si Justice Hardalesa sa Supreme Court noon ay dahil ang chairman ng JBC ay si Justice Sereno, ginawa niya ng minanoobra niya yung JBC para wag siyang mai-nominate.
Sereno blocked Hardalesa's application to a justice post in 2014, allegedly because of a question on his integrity. Gadon says Sereno manipulated the Judicial and Bar Council, which resulted to Hardalesa's exclusion in the shortlist.
How can a CJ manipulate the JBC?
Kasi siya yung chairman ng JBC.
No, but even if she's the chairman, meron naman sariling pag-iisip ang mga miyembro ng JBC. Ibig sabihin ba ay nasuhulan niyo mga yon?
Well, it
or
could be. Alam mo sa rinig ko nga, yung ibang doon ay pina-issuehan pa niya ng mga bagong sasakyan at binibigyan pa niya ng travels abroad.
Hardalesa had to file a petition which the Supreme Court granted for him to be included in the short list and be appointed as a justice. UNTV is still reaching for comment from the JBC about this issue. Meanwhile, Gadon suggested again that Sereno should instead resign to save her dignity.
Your Honor, Chief Justice Sereno, I suggest really that you resign kasi talagang ang hearing sa Congress, this will be bloody and they will really tear you apart.
Sereno's spokesman has said that it's not even an option for the Chief Justice to step down. This is because they believe the accusations in the complaint were not impeachable offense. Roderick Mendoza, UNTV, News and Rescue, Manila.
Supreme Court Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno has spoken and calls for dismissal of the impeachment complaint filed against her. Here's why from Grace Casin.
The complaint should not have even reached this stage. It should have been dismissed from the very start.
Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno denies all allegations filed against her, which include issues on her SALN, alleged meddling with the court resolutions, and her alleged purchase of luxury vehicles, among others. In the 85 pages answered submitted by Sereno's camp this morning, the Chief Magistrate questions the basis of the lower house for declaring the impeachment complaint against her as sufficient in form and substance. During the first media appearance of Sereno's defense lawyers, they strongly insist that the complaint is baseless.
The charges are totally false. They are absolutely without basis in the facts and the applicable law. The acts alleged do not even constitute grounds for impeachment under the Constitution.
House Committee on Justice Chairman Reynaldo Umali said they will next determine if the complaint has ground and probable cause.
For now, this is like preliminary investigation where we will try to now get the facts in order, get the evidence in place for purposes of supporting the articles of impeachment.
Serrano's defense team maintains that the chief magistrate is ready to face the complaint and vows she will not resign as Chief Justice. Grace Casid, UNTV News and Rescue, House of Representatives.
Former Senator Jose Jinggoy Estrada hopes for a speedy trial now that the Sandigan Bayan has begun hearing the graft case filed against him. Here's why from Ray Pelayo.
The prosecution presented 3 witnesses this morning during the trial of the case against former Senator Jinggoy Estrada and his co-accused for violations of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. The 3 witnesses were Attorney Maria Lourdes Arbas, Director 4 of the Office of the Senate Secretariat, for Estrada's Statement of Assets, Liabilities, and Net Worth or SALN. Marisa Santos, the Chief Administrative Officer of the Department of Budget and Management, for the Special Allotment Release Order or SARO, and Lolita Soriano, who is the Supervising Administrative Officer of the Commission on Audit or COA. The former senator was glad now that the trial of his case is moving after 3 years since his detention. He hopes for a speedy trial of the case. For now, he personally assists his child to school while planning for his tour in the country next month. He has no plan yet for the 2019 elections.
I hope that ma-fast track na itong aming kaso dahil medyo matagal na eh.
The former senator was accused in 2014 of receiving 180 million pesos as kickback from his Priority Development Fund or PDAF. Just this September 15, the Sandigan Bayan 5th Division granted the 1 million pesos bail petition of Estrada for his plunder case and 330,000 pesos for 11 counts of graft. He also hopes that his friend, former Senator Ramon Bong Revilla Jr., will also be released.
Well, happy birthday sa aking kumpare, matalik na kaibigan at dating kakosa. I wish him good health and I hope sana matugunan ng ating Panginoon ang kanyang dalangin na makalaya na rin siya.
Ray Pelayo, UNTV, News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Senator Risa Ontiveros is facing a criminal complaint before the Office of the Ombudsman. Ray Pelayo is back to tell us why.
Among the complaints filed by the lawyers of the Volunteers Against Crime and Corruption or VACC against Senator Risa Ontiveros are 3 counts of violation of the RA 4200 or the anti-wiretapping law. Former Congressman Jacinto Jing Paras says the complaints stem from the lady senator's gathering of private text messages of Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre with unidentified individual during a Senate hearing on the death of teenage Kian de los Santos. Paras explains the act of making public any private text message and spreading its copies is illegal.
Maski sabihin niya na nakuhanan lang yan by accident, pero ginamit niya. Dapat sana tinapon na niya sa basura.
The VACC also filed obstruction of justice complaint against Ontiveros for her alleged refusal to turn over to the Department of Justice or DOJ a witness to the killing of Kian de los Santos during an anti-drug operation of the Caloocan Police. She is also facing kidnapping charges for her supposed refusal to return the minor witness to its parents and for her encouragement of the teenager to not go back to her family for a while. The VACC lawyers argue that these are all violations of the Article 270 and 271 of the Revised Penal Code and Republic Act 7610.
The purpose of that turnover to the PAO and to the NBI or the DOJ was for the expeditious resolution of the case against Kian Lloyd de los Santos.
Hontiveros, on the other hand, believes the filing of complaints against her before the ombudsman is a way to divert the public's attention from the text messages she divulged, which she says is about the evil plans against her. The lady senator further said it only proves that it was Paras whom Secretary Aguirre was talking to in the said text message. Despite all the complaints, Hontiveros says she will continue to fight against corruption and calls on Secretary Aguirre to resign from his post. Ray Pelayo, UNTV, News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The Manila Police District stands firm that it has strong evidence proving John Paul Solano has involvement in the death of hazing victim Atio Castillo. Abby Santa Ines will tell us why.
The Manila Police District, or MPD, claims it has two witnesses who can prove that John Paul Solano has involvement in the death of hazing victim Horacio Castillo III. According to the spokesperson of the MPD, the individuals were present during the initiation rites of the fraternity group. Aside from the witnesses' testimony, Manila Police will also present as evidence CCTV footages showing Castillo was with Solano before he died. The MPD insists it has strong evidence against the suspect.
We have presented a lot of evidence, no, doon sa isinampa nating kaso kay Mr. John Paul Solano et al. At it is on the court, or it is on the appreciation of the court to evaluate the degree of evidence na we have presented.
However, Solano initially denies any involvement in the death of Atio. He claims he was just called by his co-members at the Aegis Juris Fraternity to provide medical assistance to Castillo and that he was the one who brought him to the hospital. Manila Police District is searching for the other members of the Aegis Juris Fraternity who are facing charges before the Department of Justice in connection with the death of the UST law student.
Formal charges is already filed at the DOJ, and they can seek assistance of their legal counsel para their rights are protected.
Also among the respondents are several members of the Regina Sorority Fraternity who were possible present during the initiation rites conducted on Castillo. Abby Santa Ines, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
One of the suspects in the death of USC law student Horacio Atio Castillo III, John Paul Solano, underwent inquest proceeding in the Department of Justice today. Solano says he is ready to divulge all information he knows about the death of Atio. Aiko Miguel tells us why.
The 18 individuals allegedly involved in the death of hazing victim Horacio Atio Castillo III have formally been filed with charges before the Department of Justice, or DOJ. The suspects, who are members of the Aegis Juris Fraternity, are facing complaints of murder, perjury, obstruction of justice, robbery, and violation of the anti-hazing law. Also facing charges is the father of one of the student suspects, Antonio Tranja. His son Ralph left the country with his mother this month, while the father sent surrender fillers to the Manila Police District, or MPD. Of the suspects, only John Paul Solano undergone inquest proceedings. Solano says he is ready to provide a complete and truthful statement as a state witness on the death of Atio.
More or less, depending po. Kasi yun din naman pong sabihin ko is yun din po yung talaga nangyari. So more or less kung ano po nila, kung papayag sila. Actually, wala rin namang code of silence halos kung gusto malaman yung totoo. Why should you conceal the truth?
Solano also claims he is ready to name the other fraternity members involved in the death of Atio. The parents of the hazing victim also arrived today at the DOJ but refused to be interviewed by the media. Solano's legal counsel, Attorney Paterno Esmaquel, has asked DOJ to dismiss the complaints against his client and his release from detention. Attorney Esmaquel is one of the elder and founder of the Aegis Juris Fraternity. He says the conscience of his client is clean and it is not proper to file charges of complex crime, of murder and violation of anti-hazing law against him.
If the accused is arrested by virtue of warrantless arrest, he was not arrested by virtue of warrantless arrest. He voluntarily surrendered, and in fact, it was the police who prepared the affidavit of voluntary surrender, and now they submitted an affidavit of arrest there.
Justice Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre meanwhile says the alleged neophyte who provided information to the DOJ about the hazing incident is yet to send new information to them. The DOJ is still validating the information it received from the DOJ hotline for the death of the hazing victim.
Actually, hindi naman to ko information pero may mga nagsasabi lang na yung mga neophytes na nakasaksi ay being held in a certain place pero this has not been verified. Nagkaroon ng silence. Yan yung nagsabi sa amin na 8 dun sa mga nakasaksi ay kinukulong ng mga senior members ng fraternity.
Authorities have once again called on the public and the parents of the suspects to cooperate with the DOJ, noting that the cuddling of the accused can be considered as obstruction of justice. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
The firefighter who saved the life of Horacio Atio Castillo III during a fire incident in 2005 has expressed sadness over the death of the law student due to hazing. Rajela Dora tells us why.
Members of the Castillo family were among those saved by Fire Officer 2 Lourdes Hernandez from a fire incident in Nakpil Street, Paco, Manila in December 7, 2005. One of those saved was then 10-year-old Horacio Castillo III.
That time, medyo matagal na yung sunog. Siguro mga nasa 30 minutes na bago namin na malaman na mayroon pa mga natrap na tao doon. So, ang nakita namin doon, yung pamilya Horacio, ni Castillo, Mr. Castillo.
This is why Hernandez has felt regret over the death of Atio. Although he was able to survive a tragedy 12 years ago, Atio died due to hazing. Hernandez was among those part of the investigation unit of the BFP in Manila when a fire broke out in the area. This is why he remembers the name Horacio Castillo.
Sa buhay kasi ng mga bombero, yung mga taong naliligtas namin, although hindi kami personally attached, is parang trophy namin yan.
Yesterday, Hernandez visited the wake of Atio saying his family is still grieving.
Siyempre, nalulungkot kami at dahil biro mo, ang alam namin, naligtas namin siya way back 2005 pero all of a sudden, yung pinaka-reunion namin na ngayon, na nagkita nga kami last night dun sa wake ng mga pamilya, is hindi maganda kasi nga kulang na sila.
Hernandez is the current engine officer in charge of the Gagalangin Fire Station in Tondo, Manila. Rajela Dora, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Next on Y News. The Philippine Coast Guard holds custody of 5 Vietnamese fishermen arrested in the waters of Pangasinan.
Newly transferred policemen in Caloocan City Police Station report to active duty today.
Y News will be right back. The probe on hazing victim Horacio Castillo III begins in Senate this evening. Asher Cadapan Jr. is in the Senate in Pasay City to tell us why live. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Greg, the session for Senate's probe regarding the death of the first-year law student from University of Santo Tomas, Horacio Castillo III, began at 6 o'clock this evening. Led by Chair of the Senate Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, Senator Panfilo Lacson, and along with other senators, parents of Castillo faced for the first time after their son's death the primary suspect, John Paul Solano. Another suspect named Jason Adolfo Rabinos also appeared on the Senate probe, who surrendered to Senator Lacson just this afternoon. The father of Horacio was emotional in delivering his speech to Senate, saying he treated his son like an animal. Solano denied recruitment of Castillo and stated that he was not present at the time of the hazing and was only involved on checking Castillo's body and bringing it to Chinese General Hospital. He also revealed that there were other members of Aegis juries who were with him in bringing Castillo to the hospital, who were aboard two vehicles aside from the red Mitsubishi Estrada owned by Antonio Tranguilla, also a member of the fraternity. Police Chief Superintendent Joel Napoleon Coronel mentioned it was hard to determine the hazing issue of Castillo's death due to extrajudicial killing cases happening almost every day. On the other hand, USC Faculty of Civil Law Dean Nilo Divina confirmed aegis juris is currently not recognized nor accredited by the university, although senator or being a member of aegis juris fraternity himself, Divina also said there is nothing wrong in joining fraternities, and hazing is wrong in all accounts, but hazing is not synonymous to joining fraternities. That's the latest here in Senate. Back to studio.
Thank you, Asher Cadapan Jr., reporting live from the Senate of the Philippines. The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board says the transport strike today has little effect to commuters. Abby Santa Ines will tell us why.
Instead of driving their units, the members of the Stop and Go Coalition hold a demonstration in front of the office of the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, to protest the planned jeepney modernization of the government. The group insists that instead of enforcing a total phase-out, transportation officials should just allow the rehabilitation of the old jeepney units.
Rehab or huwag gawing mandatory, voluntary. Kung sino lang yung gusto magpalit ng jeep, yun lang ang pumasok sa programa.
Stop and Go Coalition says the required amount for the replacement of old jeepney units is too burdensome for operators. The group notes jeepney phase-out might deprive the drivers of their livelihood. In response, the LTFRB argues,
kaya nga meron tayong 3-year transition period. There are 24 government agencies and NGOs pulling themselves together. DOTR is the beneficiary of the Comprehensive Tax Reform Program, where you will see 80,000 binibigay ng gobyerno for each jeep as subsidy. Hindi ho ito pautang, bigay po ito para sa modernization program.
Meanwhile, based on the monitoring of the LTFRB and the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, or MMDA, the transport strike of the Stop and Go Coalition did little negative effect to commuters. LTFRB and MMDA say this is especially since other transport groups did not join the strike. As of 11:30, authorities recorded 5,600 stranded passengers in the entire Metro Manila, not more than 1% of the total of commuters a day. Many of the stranded passengers rode on buses with special trips and free rides of several government vehicles. The LTFRB and the MMDA will remain on monitor of the transport strike until tomorrow. In Bulacan, despite the huge fare, some passengers have no choice but to ride a tricycle as there were no available jeepneys.
Ang epekto po ay napakahirap dahil syempre yung pamasahe namin dapat is 8 pesos papuntang Musong galing sa amin tapos papunta rito. Syempre sa tricycle nadagdagan kasi 40 pesos nga po.
Nakikiisa po kami kasi para ipahayag yung mga gusto namin parating sa kinauukulan na para doon sa balitang sa phase out. Tsaka sa pagtaas din ng ng gasolina, ng kurudo. Kaya kahit lugi kami ngayon, wala kaming kita. Sumama kami sa tigil pasada.
The transport strike, however, did not affect the number of public utility jeepneys operating in Laguna. Abby Santa Ines, UNTV News and Rescue, Makati City.
The newly designated cops in Caloocan City admit having difficulty in their new area of assignment. Monok Son will tell us why.
The policemen who replaced the relieved Caloocan cops, allegedly involved in various controversies, begin their first day at work today. They admit having difficulty since they are not familiar with the area. Using his own motorcycle from his home in Marikina City, PO1 Marlon Ace Yalo went to work early to attend the flag-raising ceremony in Caloocan City Police Station. He is one of the policemen chosen to transfer to the city after the relief of more than 1,000 Caloocan cops.
Matinding challenge kasi hindi natin alam yung lugar eh. Tapos medyo baguhan pa tayo, hindi pa natin alam yung paano yung mga gagawin. Kaya kailangan gagabayan tayo ng mga mas nauna.
Currently, more than 600 cops have transferred to Caloocan City. That number is far from the more than 1,000 needed for the vacant posts left by the sacked cops. Many of the newly transferred are rookie policemen like PO1 Marlon Yalo. But Caloocan City Chief of Police, Police Senior Superintendent Jemar Modequillo is confident that the newly assigned cops can easily adjust.
Meron silang tinatawag na checklist in form na pag sinasabing, oh, Patrol 101, responde ka doon, may patayan. Patayan. So, checklist, patayan. Ano bang kailangan doon sa patayan? Uy, kailangan pala magdala tayo ng police line. Oh, guide.
The Philippine National Police or PNP, meanwhile, assures to conduct background check on those who voluntarily seek to be reassigned to Caloocan City.
Yun ang tinitingnang mabuti. Baka mamaya ang gusto mag-transfer ay yung ninja cops na galing naman doon sa Mindanao. Well, definitely, we will not do that because they are being monitored.
The newly transferred policemen vow to do all they can to not tarnish the image of the Caloocan Police so that it can regain its title as the best city police station in the entire country next year. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
Malacanang assures that President Rodrigo Duterte has concrete plans against narco politicians who are allegedly involved in the Marawi siege. Rosalie Cos tells us why.
Some personalities with positions of barangay captain, councilor, vice mayor, and mayor in Lanao del Sur are involved in the drug matrix of President Rodrigo Duterte. These people are allegedly involved in the operation of illegal drugs in Mindanao, and the government is also looking into their involvement in Marawi siege. This is what President Duterte himself revealed during a dinner with media personnel in Davao City last Friday. When asked what particular actions will be taken by the government against the particular local politicians, Malacanang assures they will be held accountable after a thorough investigation.
I'm sure that the President has a plan in mind, and let us wait for the next developments regarding the matter. However, the President, we can all trust that the President will, not just the President, but the whole force of government will be exercised in order to make sure that his campaign promises regarding drugs and corruption and crime will be addressed.
Malacanang does not know yet how these narco politicians benefit from supporting terrorists financially, but the government is looking into the argument that these local narco politicians are supplying the food and war equipment of Marawi terrorists.
Without excluding external funding, but part of the local funding to buy equipment, food, and stuff like that is provided by the local sale of drugs, and which can only be done if by being abetted by the local politicians.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
Four Caloocan policemen charged with murder and torture for killing Kian Lloyd de los Santos have insisted that the 17-year-old resisted the authorities. In their counter-affidavit submitted to the DOJ, PO1 Jeremiah Pereda, PO1 Jerwin Cruz, and PO3 Arnel Owares maintained that the operation was legitimate and the victim engaged them in a shootout that resulted to his death. They said there were no eyewitness that they conspired with in killing the victim, nor it was ordered by PCP-7 Commander Police Chief Inspector Amor Cerillo. In fact, 3 other minors were arrested in their August 16 operation, but they were unharmed because they did not resist the authorities like Kian. De Los Santos family, who are being represented by the Public Attorney's Office, are given until next Monday to submit their comment to the counter-affidavit.
So pag-aralan namin, mag-reply pa ba kami? Kung hindi, papasubmit na namin for immediate resolution.
President Rodrigo Duterte is interested to know the truth behind corruption allegations inside the Department of Information, Communication and Technology, according to Malacanang. It was reported that the former Secretary Rodolfo Saralima told DICT personnel that corruption and interference were among the reasons for his resignation. Presidential spokesperson Ernesto Abella said such claim needs to be validated, considering that the main policies of the Duterte administration gear towards curbing corruption in the government. Presidential spokesperson Ernesto Abella says the president is still searching for a trustworthy replacement for Sala Lima. 3 suspected members of the Abu Sayyaf group are currently detained at the Zamboanga City Police Office Detention Facility. Rosa Licos will tell us why.
Authorities arrested last Saturday 3 suspected members of the Abu Sayyaf group. They are identified as Omar Asakil and Father and Son Mukaram and Abdullah Sapil. They are now detained at the Zamboanga City Police Office Detention Facility. The 3 were arrested by the Joint Forces of the Zamboanga City Police Office, AFP Joint Task Force Zamboanga, and other law enforcement agencies last Saturday in Sitio Banghaus, Talungsangay in Zamboanga City. Authorities recovered from the suspects a .45 caliber gun and several materials used for making bombs and grenades. Zamboanga City Police Office spokesperson Police Inspector Edwin Duco says the 3 might have had plans to sow violence in the city.
What they plan to explode, but with respect to the place or time, we don't have the idea because possession of such explosive would suggest that they really have that deliberate plan.
Authorities are now processing the documents needed for the possible filing of charges of illegal possession of firearms and explosive against the suspects. The suspects, on the other hand, deny any involvement in the Abu Sayyaf group or any lawless armed group.
Hindi po, sir. Truckman lang ako, sir. Truckman lang ng isda. Dinadala dyan sa palengke.
Nagsabi ko, sir. Nagsabi ko, sir. Nung pwede yung apla, sir. Nung ay gat sir. Si iyo. Alsakat yung mano, nung ay gat, sir.
Tomorrow, the suspects will undergo inquest proceedings. Rosa Licos, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The Philippine Coast Guard now holds custody of 5 Vietnamese fishermen who were arrested last Saturday morning at 32 nautical miles off Bolinao in Pangasinan. The group engaged in an encounter with the members of the Philippine Navy who caught them fishing illegally in the waters of Bolinao. Meanwhile, embassy officials check on the bodies of the 2 other Vietnamese fishermen who died in the encounter for their immediate repatriation. PCG spokesperson Arman Balillo said they are looking into all angles in the incident, including the alleged illegal entry of the fishermen into the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone. Meanwhile, Malacanang and Foreign Affairs Secretary Alan Peter Cayetano assures a fair investigation into the incident and to the death of the 2 Vietnamese fishermen.
The incident led to the death of 2 Vietnamese nationals, and the DFA is closely coordinating with the officials of the Vietnamese embassy in Manila to update them on the developments and to facilitate their access to the 5 other Vietnamese fishermen taken into custody by the Philippine Navy.
ASEAN energy ministers will convene next week for the 35th Association of Southeast Asian Nations Energy Ministers meeting. Joan Nano will tell us why.
Energy ministers from the 10 member states of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations will hold a series of meetings this week to tackle various policies and projects that will develop sustainability of power supply in the Philippines and its neighboring countries. The agenda include the building of infrastructures for power lines that will connect power plants in all ASEAN countries. Issues on coal and clean coal technology as well as different strategies on efficient energy conservations will also be discussed during the meeting. Policies and plans on renewable energy and civilian nuclear energy are also included in the primary agenda. Department of Energy Undersecretary Wimpy Fuentebella says that through this, the Philippines will be able to create modern strategies to address sustainability on supply of petroleum products and electricity.
And in doing so, we anticipate that once we become integrated, we will become more competitive and more resilient as a region.
With the help of these meetings, DOE says it is expected to provide electricity among far-flung areas.
We're focusing on delivering basic energy services, especially in the off-grid areas, and trying to come up with business models in assisting other community organizations like women's groups on how to convert kerosene lamps into solar lamps and how this can be utilized by people there in the far-flung areas.
ASEAN Forum will officially open on Wednesday, September 27 and will end until on Friday. Joanano, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasay City.
Coming up on Y News. U.S. President Donald Trump signs a proclamation restricting travel from 8 countries, including North Korea.
And Wishfuls in the Wish 1075's online talent search is now down to 18.
More from Y News after this break.
Two-time champion Judiciary Magis and FA Cavaliers won their respective first games in the UNTV Cup Season 6. Bernard Dadis will tell us why.
And si Colombia all the way. Let's see, here's another setup para dito kay Boyet. That's gonna be...
UNTV Cup's two-time champions proved their caliber on Sunday's doubleheader at the Pasay City Sports Center. Season 4 Finals most valuable player Boyet Bautista and rookie Romeo Almilor led the AFP Cavaliers to win Sunday's match against the GSIS Furies. The Soldiers dominated quarters 1-4 to mark a 103-95 win. For Coach Sunny Manukat, preparation with goal setting is everything.
Talaga nag-prepare kami. We prepare hard for this game. Sabi ko, first impression for the other teams na champion team tayo. Saka we all agree na we're on the same page again na goal namin semifinals then championship.
On the GSIS side, Coach Mike Sagitgit admits they came up against a big challenge with only 9 out of his 15 members able to play for the Furies.
Maraming hindi nakapunta ngayong game na to. Pero maganda yung nakita kong result. Even we lost this game, nakita ko parang mas maganda yung gelling nila ngayon compared to the last season.
Meanwhile, in the Judiciary Ombudsman Hardcourt Battle, the two-time champion Judiciary Magis toppled the Ombudsman Grafbusters with a 39-point advantage, 115-76. Season 5 most valuable player Chester the Elevator Tolomia, who made 20 points and 6 rebounds, and Julius Rabino, who bucketed 19 points and grabbed 2 boards, were hailed as the best players of the game. Bernard Dadis, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
National Commission for Culture and the Arts Chair Virgilio Almario has led the official launching of Centro Rizal in the Philippine Embassy in Singapore. Mary Jo Maleriado tells us why.
The main purpose of establishing Centro Rizal is to promote Philippine arts, culture, and language, which is mandated under Section 42 of the Republic Act 166, or the Philippine Heritage Law.
National Artist for Literature, Virgilio Almario, opened an evening of Filipino arts and culture highlighting our national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal, in Philippine Embassy here in Singapore.
Our idea is that the embassy itself should also serve as a cultural center, especially for Filipinos living in the area. We have to serve the needs also, not only the economic and political needs of the OFWs, for example, but also we also have to serve their need to always feel that they are Filipinos and that they are part of the Philippines.
The NCCA provided a bronze bust of Jose Rizal, which was unveiled in the event in observance of the 120th year commemoration of Rizal Day in December. Part of the organizer of the event were members of the Diplomatic Corps headed by Ambassador Antonio Morales.
Inaanyayahan po natin ang ating mga kababayan dito sa Singapore na makiisa sa ating mga programa para naman itaguyod natin ang kulturang Pilipino, ang kasaysayan ng Pilipinas, at yung maipakita natin sa ating mga kaibigan dito sa Singapore at sa mga iba pang naninirahan sa bansa na ito na ang kulturang Pilipino ay dapat lamang nating ipagmalaki.
Aside from the unveiling, there were also entertainment and dinner buffet. The winner of folk dance with a modern twist, the Higaunon ethnic dancers and members of Philcom's Samahang Ilocano also graced the event. Singapore has always been a part of our history, as the bust and paintings of a peripatetic hero, as they put it, is already installed in different areas of the city-state. Our national hero had traveled 4 times in Singapore on 1882 to 1896. Medyo Malariado, UNTV News and Rescue, Singapore.
UNTV programs and personalities stood out in this year's Best Choice Awards. Here's why from Abby Santa Ines.
The group business, market research, and advertising agencies led by the Philippine Events Specialist and Marketing Services Company has recognized notable contributions of companies and personalities in different fields of endeavor. For this year, a number of UNTV programs and personalities were among the awardees. Radyo La Verdad Servisyong Kasangbahay won in the Best Choice Companies and Brands category. In the second time, the said program received the Best Choice Award.
Tinayo ni Kuya, in-establish ni Kuya ang programang Serbisyong Kasambahay. And the main objective is to render purely genuine public service. Kaya kung may mga awards, nagpapasalamat kami. We are not here to compete. We are here to render purely genuine public service.
Meanwhile, Wish 1075 was named the most innovative and outstanding radio broadcasting production. Wish FM introduced the Wish Bus, the one and only FM radio booth on wheels in the country, which is also known for its high-quality videos garnering huge support from netizens online.
The main thing is we are not afraid to do things that are different, and even in that, we do that excellently. They can expect more different things to come up very soon, better things, things that they're familiar with, but like parang an upgrade of all of it.
We would like to thank Kuya Daniel Razon. Of course, none of this would be possible without him. He is the one behind Wish 1075 and all the innovations that we have. And also, all the wishers keep on wishing.
In the individual categories, UNTV's Y News anchor William Theo has been named Best Choice Achiever for News and Public Service Broadcasting.
And I just want to continue to improve, to be able to do more in the field of public service, to be able to learn more, and para bang I guess every day is a never-ending learning experience, and I hope to be able to use all of my experiences for the good of humanity.
And of course, UNTV CEO and Mr. Public Service Kuya Daniel Razon was awarded Best Choice Achiever for TV and public service for his notable concepts and advocacies in the name of public service. Abby Santa Ines, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Wishfuls in Wish FM's online singing competition Wish Covery now down to 18. Robbie de Guzman tells us why.
The second batch of Wishfuls in the Wish 1075's Wish Covery sang their heart out before the resident reactors last Saturday. After the deliberation, Kristen Joy Peralta was the second to be eliminated in the search. Nevertheless, she is thankful for her Wish Covery journey.
Napakaganda po na experience na ibinigay po sa amin ng Wish 1075. Isa po itong once-in-a-lifetime experience na siguro po sa lahat ng mga singers na kakilala ko, hinahangad din na makakanta ngayon dito sa Wish Bus.
Among the Wishfuls evaluated last week were Audrey Maliba of Batangas,
with Tadhana, I think you hit it on the head, yung choice, good song choice, yung ikaw, kung sino ka, lumabas dun sa kanta.
Singing teacher from Bacolod, Chris Noel Bernaldez.
Wala ka namang problema sa pitch accuracy kasi nasasapul mo naman. Nararamdaman ko lang na may fear ka dun sa pag-hit ng mga high notes.
Hazel Bartolome of Cavite,
ng kanta mo. Ganda. It's like, it went everywhere, tapos may build up. Galing. Galing mo.
And Philam Zakia Jane Miller from Cebu City.
You put in your own rendition. And the simplicity, because you have a wonderful voice, swak lang. Shoot na shoot.
Among them, Hazel garnered the highest score. Meanwhile, at 9 o'clock tonight, the Wish-clusive performances of the third batch of Wishfuls will be watched and heard online and are open for voting. Robbie de Guzman, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
And before we end the night, congrats to William Theo for winning Best Choice Achiever for News and Public Service Broadcasting.
Yes, congratulations, William. I know you deserve it because you're a very hardworking and humble man.
Wow. Those are the reasons behind the news, September 25, 2017. I'm Angelo Castro III.
Reasons we delivered to you as they unfold. I'm Darlene Basingan.
Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Thank you for watching
Why
News.
News.